Good morning. Fair warning, today we are butchering our meat chickens. So so if that is not something you feel comfortable watching, just wait for my next video. We will not show any of the killing part, but we do want to show the whole process and the setup for anybody who is interested in maybe doing this themselves someday or just are curious about how it's done. So we're here at our friends Megan and Brody's farm it's their family farm that they just recently bought and are taking over, and they are helping us butcher in exchange for 2 chickens and the learning process on how to do it. So we're going to teach them how to butcher chickens so that they can do it in the future. So these are our friends. This is Kira. Tell us why you're here today.
I'm just here to experience the magic.
And this is our friends Megan and Brody.
Hello.
And we're at their farm today. They're graciously helping us and letting us use their space. And this is Tim, her husband Tim. So this is the first station. This is a killing cone. So hanging upside down kind of sedates them a little. It makes them really calm. And the cone hugs them and keeps their wings tight, which also keeps them calm. It's considered one of the most humane ways to do things. And then, yeah, and then there's a bucket to collect the blood.
So there's 2 veins or arteries on the sides of the neck. I'm just going to cut both and they'll just bleed out. Right there and right.
This one's not kicking. Sometimes they, even after they're dead, they kind of flap around just from reflexes. So what did you think?
It wasn't too bad, honestly. I mean, probably sad for the chickens, but they lived a good life. I just feel like, even though, I mean, the chickens are dying today, I feel like it's much better than what their life was like probably in a poultry farm. So living at Tim and Kelly's was probably a really good life compared to that. So it doesn't feel quite so sad because I feel like it's just kind of a circle of life thing.
A good life in one bad day.
Yes.
So next we are dunking them in, this is just a turkey fryer, right? And we dunk the chicken in the hot water for like maybe a minute, and that loosens their feathers so they're easier to pluck.
You could definitely get it. Seemed like it was helping.
Do we want to defeather some?
Sure.
Okay. We'll see how this works.
Yes, you will.
We might want the hose. Oh wow, this is coming off so easy. So I've never used one of these before, but it's supposed to make it go a lot faster. Ready, Freddie?
I'm ready.
Oh my god!
Oh,
Whoa,
Nelly.
Nelly! Well,
Okay.
that was something. That was something.
Brody's gotten so far.
So yeah, this is definitely not the best way to defeather a chicken. You can get a big drum feather that has these rubber fingers. It's like the inside of a washing machine. It has all these fingers and the chicken spins around and it's like all the feathers are gone in a few seconds. So, but those cost like $500. So you have to be like committed.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really know what to expect.
Me either. For some reason I did not expect the feathers to go flying like that. Yeah, and maybe the cold water was a good idea.
My thought was just it would stop in the cooking process.
Right. Okay, well, let's just start.
Okay.
So there's supposedly an easy way to take their head off by just Oh no, I got it. Okay, so yeah, supposedly that's supposed to be easy because there's already cuts from the killing. And next, we'll do the feet. Gravity's gonna help us. You see this divot where the joint is?
Yes.
That's where you want to cut so that you're not cutting on bone. Gravity, like holding it so it's not setting on the table, will help separate the joint as you're going. There we go. That's a foot. Yeah. So next, there is an oil gland at the base of the tail which can affect the taste of the meat. So we're gonna cut that off. You see how it's kind of yellow? And then next we're gonna flip it back over. And we're gonna make a little slit by its neck. The point of this is to pull the esophagus and windpipe loose, so that's easier to pull through.
So I have just kind of grab it and lift upwards and pull it.
Just pull it out. So the esophagus is attached to the crop, which is that balloon organ that holds their food before it goes to the gizzard to be ground up.
It reminds me of dissecting stuff in college, and the professor's like, "Yep, now just grab that wiggly piece there." They're all wiggly pieces. What?
They all look the same.
It all looks the same.
So then you want to follow the esophagus down to the crop and loosen that up.
Crop here.
Yep. So you kind of just want to pull that away from the skin using your fingers. The water was too hot, or we dunked them too long or something, and their skin cooked a little bit, and that's why you see tearing, and that's why it's yellow, which is not ideal, but it is what it is.
Is it smart to like use your knife to?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, you're good.
You just don't want to.
Yeah, we don't want to puncture anything because if there's not any food in their crop today because we did not feed them this morning for that very purpose, to make the butchering cleaner so that we don't have like food or fecal matter. And we're gonna make a similar kind of cut right above its cloaca, which is the chicken butthole.
Okay.
They actually only have one hole. Their eggs, their poop, everything comes out of all the same hole. And again, you just want it to be a small hole because you do not want to puncture the intestines.
So you want to open it wide enough because it's
your
going to
hand.
pull out.
And then you want to kind of stick your hand in along, so the back of your hand is along the cavity.
Like the upper half of it?
Yeah. Try and get like things loose.
Do you go like all the way up as high as you can go?
Yeah, and then you grab, and the goal is to pull this through. See, there's our windpipe and esophagus. It feels like you're gonna break it or something. It
totally does.
It'll come loose. And I'm gonna keep the heart and liver and gizzard. They are edible for humans or cats. So then we don't want to rip it off the butt. You want to leave it attached to the butthole.
Okay.
But we have all the guts on the outside.
I see guts out. It is still attached.
So then you want to take the end of your guts and cut around the butthole so that we get the whole thing out, but not cutting the intestine. So then you got the whole tract intact.
There we go.
So that's the inside of the gizzard. I don't know if it recorded. This is the organ that the food goes to after it's in the crop, and it's a hard muscle, and they swallow these little pebbles, and the muscle grinds up their food for them. So that's was inside. This one's rinsed out, and this is a big callus, which when you cook it will shrink and shrivel up. So I'm going to peel it out. And people eat these. My cats will love them. Okay, so well, yours doesn't have a head.
A couple of them are headless.
Got it. Finally.
Yeah, and then you should be able to, now that you've got it, you should be able to just slide your thumb and pull it out.
That worked really well. Remember that.
And then you have the crop to in. So after they're all finished, we have them in this bin of ice water to stay cool before we're till we're ready to bag them up. So these chickens are Freedom Rangers, and they are 10 weeks old. And the roosters are about exactly the size that we'd like them, but the hens are very, very small.
I think the shell is like the last step.
Yeah. All right, so this is interesting. This was one of Megan and Brody's hens that had went blind, and that is a yolk. Oh, there we go, okay. Don't move, I won't. Do you see all those yellow balls in there? Those were going to be eggs someday. They're really firm too.
You're right.
Like, that yolk would not disappoint in the frying pan.
Yeah, for sure.
So we're pretty much done. We just have cleanup left. Kind of filming kind of got forgotten about until now again. How would you say the experience was for you, Kira?
I thought it was pretty good. It was very informational, very informative. I've never seen anything like this done before, so I feel like it was good to see it in person and help out a little bit. And yeah.
Yeah, it turns out we really needed your help. That was one thing that we all noticed is this is not a one-person job. We only had 10 chickens to do total, and it took, we probably started at 8:30, 9 o'clock, and now it's like 1 o'clock and we're having lunch. And we still have to clean up. So it's like an all-day thing. Though, granted, plucking feathers took forever because the little tool that we bought did not work very good. How do you feel like it went, Megan?
Learned a lot because I'd only ever done this one time before, and it was one chicken. But it was actually really good to practice doing multiple chickens in a row because I felt like I did get into the flow of it a little bit. I also think that I'm really happy we did it this way because I definitely feel like we did treat the chickens as humanely as we could, and just kind of knowing exactly what was happening throughout the entire process with each chicken and being involved with every step of it really kind of brought it all together really well.
How do you think it went, Tim?
Splendidly.
Splendid. Great. So it was all definitely a learning process. Motorcycles. There's a lot of things that, like, definitely that $500 drum plucking feather plucker would be worth it. Like, if we were gonna, I don't think I would want to do meat chickens again until we had one of those. So it may be a while until we do meat chickens again, but, or if we were able to rent one, that would make a huge difference. We weren't able to find anything like that, though I would look harder now knowing knowing now how big of a difference it makes. I would make sure I had access to one of those feather pluckers before I did anything more than like 4 chickens, I would say. Looking like dinner.